Hello again. This video is about the page layouts in Salesforce. Firstly, we'll start with what is page layout. So, the record will be retrieved and shown to the end users, right? So, it will be shown in a page. We can customize that particular page using this page layout option. So, basically, we can customize that, the record detail page and the record edit page. By customize, we mean that we can specify whether the field should be visible or not, or whether the field should be edit or read only, or whether the field should be marked as mandatory and stuff like that. Also, we can control which field should be accessible through that page layout, what are the list of related records should be accessible, and what are the custom links the user should see in that particular page. It doesn't stop there. We can add multiple sections, and if we feel like blank space between two particular fields would help, then we can even include a blank space in the page layout. Also, we can change reorder the visibility of fields. Like, let's say if you want the email field under the user's full name, then we can have the email field under user full name. Or let's say we have a different thought and we should we feel like the phone number should be between the user full name and the email. We can have again reorder that again. So we can do almost everything using this page layout, considering the visibility of a record. And there are a few components. Like, firstly, fields. So obviously the record should have fields, and we can play with play with those fields in the page layout. And buttons are. So buttons are basically, there are standard buttons. Also, we can create some custom buttons. So we can decide what are the buttons should be placed in the page layout. Like, for example, we would have a new button, right? So we can feel like that new button should be placed in a particular page layout and not in another. So we can decide over that as well. Then there will be custom links. Every custom links would have a duty for it, and depending on the business need or the client need, we can decide whether a particular custom link should be placed or not. And we could develop some quick actions, like log a call or create some record. So we have that option of creating a quick action, and we can decide whether that quick action should be included in the page layout or not. Similarly, there will be some lightning actions. By lightning actions, we mean that we can have a lightning component which could perform a particular action. So that could also be placed in the page layouts. Also, some mobile actions which are specific to mobile can also be placed or not in the page layout. Then expanded lookups. So expanded lookups is basically specific for mobile. Like when we hover over record in mobile, then it would show a small window which specifies the information about that. So we can decide on that as well. Then the next component is related list. So related list is basically, if you remember, while creating the object or field, we have these notes and attachments to be specified, right? So that is actually related to this. Like, for example, we can create a note for a particular record. So if we feel like that particular information to be included in a page layout, then we can have that related list to be included. Also, if there is any relationship between two different objects, so when we include the related object as a related list, what happens is, the related records would be shown. Like, for example, let's say A is the record we are having right now, and we have the related list of a different object, of a related object, right? So that object has a record B being created, which is related to A. So that particular record would be shown in this a small related list section. Then the last component is the report and chart. So we can also include the reports available in the organization into the page layout. So finally, in addition to the page layouts, we also have other few layouts, like mini page layout. So mini page layout is a subset of items of an existing page layout. So what would happen is, when we hover over a link or something, or a name of the particular record, it will open a small window which will have very few information. So we can define those information in this mini page layout. Then the search layout is actually when we search at the global search box, it will retrieve the information and show to us in the page, correct? So we can also define what are the informations to be shown in the search page. Then finally a compact page layout. So compact page layout is basically, when we open a particular record, we have this highlight pane at the top. So we can even, like for example, we have this topic light, other layouts. Similarly, there will be highlight pane. Usually it will be just the, name of that record. But we can also even, customize that particular highlight pane to include a few more fields to be shown. So yeah, we'll see a demo session, but before that, a quick fact. Like there are some restrictions on the number of custom fields that can be created per object based on the Salesforce edition we are using. Like for example, if it is a professional edition, then we can 100 fields at a maximum for an object. If it is enterprise, then it is 500, and if it is an unlimited edition, then we can up to have up to 800 fields per object. Okay, so now let us have a quick demonstration on page layout and page layout creation and stuff. So firstly, as we have discussed, page layout is basically the layout in which the records being displayed, right? So let's now open an account record. So this is how it is right now configured for this particular user. So let's now create a new page layout. So for that, we need to navigate to the object to on which we are trying to create the new page layout. So I'm navigating to account object manager. From object manager, I'm selecting this account object for which we are trying to create a new page layout. So you can see this new page layout section, and this would display the list of page layouts available right now in the system. So to create a new page layout, we could click on this new button. So basically, you can clone an existing page layout and you can make modifications to it, or you can also build from scratch. So for now, I'll build this from scratch. Let's say this as admin account layout, and this feed based layout is basically there will be a separate tab called feed. So it would provide you the feed of changes made in this particular object. So let's have this unchecked again. This is a high level information of what this checkbox will do. You'll get to know on this with more hands-on and Salesforce. So right now I'll click on save for now. Then you can see this page layout being created, right? So you can see all the components which we have discussed in the presentation, correct? So firstly the fields. So we can have the fields being pulled over and put it over here. Like for example, let's say I pull over and put this account number field in this particular section in an existing section. Maybe it's an active field or something like that. Then you can also see this blank space, correct, as we have discussed. So I can put this blank space between these two, and maybe between these two fields as well. Then we can create a section as well. So when I drag the section and put it over here, we will be able to create a section. Again, we have to define the section properties. Like firstly the section name. Section name, I'll give it as address details. Then these two checkbox, correct? So this would define where this section header has to be displayed. By section header we mean this address details. So this is the section header name, right? So where do we want to display this? Whether on the details page only, or on, I mean, as by detail page I mean when we look into the record, right? So that is what called as the detail page, or in the edit page, which means when we click on the edit we will be showing a separate page, right? So that is called the edit page, or both. If you want both, we can select both the checkboxes. I leave it as both. Then we can define whether this particular section is one column or two column, like whether you can place the fields on both the columns or just on the for one column alone. Also, it could define the tab key order, like when we press tab, whether it has to go from left to right, then again left to right, or top down and top down. So every single detail will be defined over here. For now, I have this as two column and left to right, and I am clicking on OK. So you can see this particular section created, right? So I'll put on a few fields like billing address and country, right? Then I'm creating a new section again, another section maybe. So I'll have this as maybe contact details. Then I'll have the same permissions, and I'll pull out and place fax phone over here, right? and you can see the buttons up. So these are the basically a few buttons which have been created. So we can place these buttons over here. You can drag and drop these buttons over here, and custom links as we have discussed. So we can have the custom links placed over here. Quick actions as we have discussed. We would be defining a few actions, so which we can drag and place under this section, which is the lightning experience action section. I'm sorry, this quick actions is basically for the Salesforce Classic publisher. So we'll be placing this over here in this section, whereas we have this lightning actions, which we will be placing in this section, which is lightning experience action section. Then we have expanded lookups as we have discussed. This is specific for mobiles, right? So we can drag and place this over here in this mobile card section maybe. Again, this we can ignore for now because this is specific for mobile and stuff. And related list basically, as we have discussed, if there are any related objects, then we can have those related objects information as a related list, or we also have some standard related list, right? Like for example, I'll place this notes and attachments is a standard Salesforce related list. So I'll drag and place this over in the related list section. Yeah, similarly, we can have something else as well. Then reports and charts, as we have discussed, we can have the charts in the layouts. We can again drag and drop over here wherever needed, right? And finally, this components. Actually, this components is specific for accounts, I guess. So, this is basically they have already placed this in mobile cards, and this is specific to mobile server. So, we have everything being placed as expected. Then I'm going to click on save. Before that, one more thing. We can define. Okay, fine. I'll reopen this. It has already saved, right? As you could see, it has been saved, and I'm opening this again because I have to show one more thing. Like we can define whether a particular field is, by clicking on this a small toggle, we can select whether a field has to be read only or required specific to this page layout. Like if you select require, then whomsoever using this page layout, this particular field would be required when they try to save the record. Similarly, I also have it as read only, like either required or read only, because you would understand, right? If it is required and if it is read only, then it doesn't make sense, correct? So that is why either read only or required. So if it is read only, then the user just could see the record but not read it. So like for example, I will leave this country as required, and you can see the small asterisk, right? I am saving this again. So you could see this admin account layout saved over here. So for this page layout to be assigned, we have to click on this page layout assignment button, which will lead us to this particular page. And I'm going to edit this assignment and have it for have the newly created page layout for the system admin profile, which is us. So if I scroll down, we could see the system admin, right? So when I click on this, and if I move back to the top, here we have this drop down, which would have all the page layouts. So here I'm going to select this newly created page layout, admin account page layout, and you could see this updated over here. And I'm going to click on save. When this being saved, I am now going back to this record again, refreshing this page. Firstly, I'll show this details page, and yeah, as you could see, now these four fields, and you could see the blank space and two different sections which we have created. And this related list, we have placed the notes and attachment related list, right? So that is over here. And to show you the compulsory, I'm trying to edit this, and if you see, you can see this country as compulsory. So that is basically about page layout, page and stuff. Thank you and happy learning.